let's talk about these two big deals that have just happened involving two of the biggest companies and two of the biggest industries in Orange County. Of course, I speak of what's going on at Broadcom and what's going on with Lennar's purchase of
CalAtlantic, formerly Standard Pacific, a long-time Orange County Irvine company, Costa Mesa, founded 50 years ago. They barely made it through the recession, but they survived. They made it through a merger with Ryland 2 years ago, and now they're getting gobbled up by Lennar.
Yeah, so Standard Pacific, longtime home builder, had a tough time, merged with Ryland, a kind of merger of equals, and you had this big company. And so that wasn't too long ago.
No, they just, they're still digesting.
And what was the name they took?
CalAtlantic.
CalAtlantic. And so now CalAtlantic, this merging company, if you will, is going to be purchased by Lennar, which of course has deep roots here in Orange County too. 5 Point Communities is a spin-off of that. John Jaffe, who runs Lennar here, very well known. So, okay, so that's, what does it mean as far as other than, now this will create the biggest home builder in the country. Lennar is already second.
They're second.
Right, and now when they acquire CalAtlantic, they're going to be first. Is this good for Orange County? What does it mean?
They'll have a bigger presence here. Irvine is going to be the central hub, it looks like, but they haven't said it. But there's going to be job cuts, no doubt. I'm sure there's overlapping positions. And
in other words, because you've got a lot of executive management type jobs that you don't need. And they've been pretty frank about that that's what they intend to do. Now, in a way, Jaffe knows everybody, right? So he's going to know. Now, they've been saying, oh, it won't be just Lennar people. We'll be looking. I'm thinking if anybody would be sincere about that, it might be Lennar, because they know, they pretty much know their competitors and everything. So this could be for them a good thing if they, basically, you've got a baseball team and you can choose, well, he's the better second baseman, he's the better center fielder. Do you think they'll do that? Whoever wins, right?
Well, real quick, it's a big, still bigger bet. Lennar having, of course, a nice stake in 5 Point, a bigger doubling down again on California. They won't have the pricing, job cuts, yes, but they won't have that pricing ability that, say, the landowner here has, right? There's still enough competition, and it happens because of their stock price. Lennar's done very well, and it's a stock deal. Same as the one you want to talk about now.
Yes. What is the other one I want to talk about? Broadcom. So let's talk about the whole Broadcom saga.
Well, for one thing, Qualcomm is weak. For a rare time, they've had a downturn. Trying to buy this one company.
So Broadcom and Qualcomm are chip makers. They make the chips that are in your smartphones and TV set-top boxes, all that. Qualcomm is based in San Diego. Broadcom used to be based in Orange County. They still are a significant part of they're a significant subsidiary of a company. Okay, so go on.
So similar history in that it came out of the 90s. Irwin Jacobs, of course, the man behind San Diego-based Qualcomm, made some terrific buys, like of the GPS company, and has the higher margin chips that are in every iPhone you buy, just like Broadcom has the chips in every modem, iPhone. Both wildly successful, and in between love to sue each other over that time. And along comes this Avago, of course, which spun out of Hewlett-Packard, bought Broadcom, took the name, very acquisitive, and so
cut jobs locally too.
They did, which often goes with big acquisitions. And while they're waiting somewhat a smaller buy of Brocade, and being a Singapore-based company for now, we know about the press conference last week, they were waiting to get congressional approval, and saying now they're going to come back here and be headquartered here. So San Jose is where their domestic headquarters is. Well, we're going to take, I think it's about an $80 billion buy of Qualcomm.
So, Mark, do you think it's probably good for San Jose? They'll have a headquarters with even more power and reach and all that. I'm thinking Orange County's already gone through some decimation with the Broadcom consolidation. I'm thinking this could be really hard for San Diego.
Possibly. And I circle back to Amazon and the promise of 50,000 jobs here if they were to bring the second headquarters to the area. I was standing in Irvine 3 years ago when Broadcom broke ground on a new campus. They were promising to double their employee base here over the next 10 years. Instead, they've cut it in half. So,
well,
you can never predict the future.
Sure, and it could be a test. I go back to the last big expansion, or 2 expansions ago in 2000. One of the tipping points was when the Justice Department sued Microsoft. And now this administration or this Justice Department says it wants to look, it's not giving right away the blessing to Time Warner, AT&T. So here's a lot of, and maybe with a nudge from the folks at Apple, because if this could be one of those, because obviously a booming stock market, we're seeing some really big mergers, and that means less players, and and as Mark's been saying.
But it might end up being more of a political deal than business, because I think Washington, D.C. might have as much to say as anybody.
And oftentimes, I mean, you win and you lose on these types of things, but when a community loses a big headquarters, it always has an impact, because these are people who support the arts, they support a lot of charities, they're involved in the little leagues, and you name it, and that. When you lose some of those types of jobs, it has an impact. It certainly hurt in the case of, with Allergan here in Orange County and with Broadcom. But I'm thinking Qualcomm in San Diego. That is really, I mean, that's losing a big
They don't have nearly the wide economic base that we have here. 8 or 9 strong, distinct silos, and they don't have that over there.
Losing the Chargers will be an afterthought if this happens, I think.
One question I didn't get to ask on our show that we just did on the Amazonomania, the scramble for the headquarters, is that could we be seeing more of these types of huge marquee headquarters scrambles? Now, I mean, there's only one Amazon, but Google, Apple, I mean, could those companies at some point say, we're going to put another giant headquarters somewhere and give us, do you think they too will get 235 requests for proposals?
Everyone has been, the big 5, they're all, we know, they're all concentrated up in Northern California, Seattle, and it's getting very crowded up there. They're getting a lot of pressure to foot the bill for transportation, affordable housing. So at some point, and we've seen it, with Amazon, they're going to look, and let's say that we're being forced to look elsewhere. We'll take.
I guarantee there's another large company that's seen this proposal from Irvine and has at least brought it to their executive team.
To wrap up, I never asked you your prediction. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it?
So, like you say, almost every, it's Atlanta, it's Boston. Conventional wisdom early on was Texas, because Texas plays this game. Austin, Houston, kind of the smart, wise guy pick, because a city that, on the comeback. So those are the top 4. Philadadelphia even has been in most lists.
I've seen Philadelphia in it, and I'm, so give me one.
Well, Leicester City won the premiership, so can't be. In fact, there was a letter being circulated.
Give me one. Give me one.
I can't. Orange County. I'm going to take one of the two wholly Orange County.
You're not even giving me a city. Irvine or which one? Santana? You're just going to say Orange County. That's good enough, because that's pretty out there, I'll tell you. All right, so Orange County.
The Orange County Business Journal.
I think Boston will win, but if they decide to stay on the West Coast, Irvine will win.
Wow. Okay, and just because I Cleveland. All right.
I had a wild card. So how about Puerto Rico, which used to have a lot of industry, and you talk about a territory that needs revitalization. So that's my Leicester City.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rick.